chain made from a lot of hard work and is extremely valuable. She went back to my auntie's room again, and I looked to my right and saw my brother and sister were also awake. I asked my sister what happened, but she didn't know what was going on and was trying to comfort us. I just know how scared and cold I was. All three of us started to tremble and shake with fear. After 5 minutes, my mom came in and gave us a hug. We weren't crying, but we were so incredibly scared, our hearts were beating out of our chests. I'm not sure how it is in the western parts, but we originally lived in Switzerland. However, I noticed that in places like Sri Lanka or anywhere in the southern parts of India, women tend to cry very loudly. As a child, this could be quite distressing. We weren't accustomed to such intense displays of emotion, especially when someone cried out in pain like my aunt did. Her crying made the situation even more unsettling, yet at that time, we didn't fully understand what was happening. After an hour, we fell back asleep because our mom told us to. In the early morning, my parents were awake and were talking about the incident last night. My mom started to tell the horror. By night, a burglar climbed up to my uncle's room on the top floor, right next to our room, and stole a $5,000 wedding chain from my auntie, and also the car key to our van. My uncle woke up because of a noise from the bathroom, investigated, and caught the burglar trying to flee out of the window. When he tried to grab him, the burglar fell out of the window to the ground and disappeared into the wheat field. They chased him through the wheat field, but couldn't find him. The guy escaped, and even the police couldn't find him. Thankfully, we got a second key for our van, packed up everything, and went directly home. Before that, my uncle wanted to make sure that the burglar hadn't left anything behind while running away, in hopes that we might find a clue. However, despite our efforts, we couldn't find anything. My auntie was sad and barely spoke while driving home because she was so traumatized by the incident. While we were driving home, my dad made sure he had everything and looked into his wallet and realized that a small picture of his father was missing, and so was his cash. That's when I realized that the man in front of the dresser wasn't my dad at midnight. It was the burglar himself. I don't want to know what would have happened if that guy realized that I was awake and looking at him. I'm glad it was dark so he couldn't see me, but it also freaks me out when I think about that it actually was the guy who took my auntie's wedding chain and the key of our van. Ever since then, I always make sure that the restroom window and the door to my hotel room is completely locked and deadbolted.